continue looking at experimental probability. And so in this particular instance, we'll do a quick review of some of the experimental probability definitions that we've done. So probability is the likelihood that an event is going to happen. Okay, so what's the chance of something happening at any given moment? Okay, and so as we go through, we're going to take a look at different, we're going to conduct trials. So that's one round of a probability experiment. An outcome is the result of a probability experiment. So for example, if I'm flipping a dice, and I'm rolling a dice and I get a 6, okay, my outcome happens to be a 6. Okay, the event is the set of outcomes with the same result. So how many trials resulted in a 6? That is the total number of events that you get in a 6. Okay, so if we're going to determine the experimental probability of something, it's always the number of successful trials for a given outcome that you're looking for, divided by the total number of trials that were actually conducted. Okay, and so in this particular instance, we want to take a look at a situation that we had potentially talked about the other day. So let's say that you perform a probability experiment, and as part of the gone fishing experiment that we did, and one group gets the following results. They get 9 carp, 15 bass, and 6 catfish. So in total, they end up catching 30 fish. So let's say that they have 9 carp, they have 15 bass, and they have 6 catfish that all get caught. Okay, so what are the probabilities of the following as a fraction, decimal, and a percent? Okay, so we know that if you catch 9 carp, there's a total of 30 fish that are caught in total. So that means there's 30 trials. Okay, so we know that there's 9 out of 30 trials result in getting a carp. That's not in lowest terms yet, so we need to convert this. Both 9 and 30 are equally divisible by 3, so I can divide both the top number and the bottom number by 3. So that's going to give me 3 over 10, okay, or 30%. Okay, so now what I need to do is convert this fraction that's in lowest terms, and I need to convert that into a decimal. So as a decimal, I would take 3 divided by 10, and that gives me 0.3. Okay, and now I want to convert that into a percentage, so I'm going to take 0.3, I'm going to multiply it by 100, that's going to result in 30%. Okay, so now I want to do the same thing for bass. So I got, and we'll do bass as red, or blue rather. So I've got 15 bass out of 30 in total. Okay, and so again, this is not a fraction in lowest terms. Both of these numbers can be divided evenly by 15. So that would give me 1/2. Okay, so as a fraction in lowest terms, 15 over 30 is 1/2. So then I want to convert that into a decimal. So I take 1 divided by 2 and I get 0.5. And then I want to convert that into a percentage. So I take 0.5 times 100. That leaves me with 50%. Okay. And the final example there is for catfish. Well, catfish, I got 6 catfish out of a total of 30. I can divide both 6 and 30 by 6, and that's going to result in 1 over 5 as a fraction in lowest terms. 1 divided by 5 is going to give me 0.2, and 0.2, if I turn that into a percentage by multiplying it by 100, it's going to give me 20%. Okay, so again, you can express these terms in both a fraction in lowest terms, a decimal, and a percentage, and you'll be asked to do that a couple of times. Okay, so there's 2 different measures to figure out whether or not you did not get carp. Okay, you can do indirect, which is subtraction. Okay, so if I want to figure out the probability of not getting a carp, okay, so I know that the number of carp that or the total number is 30, and if I did not get carp, that means I want to subtract all my carp, and that means that whatever's left is what I have. So I'm going to do 30 divided by 9, and that's going to equal 21. Okay, so 21 of the fish that I caught were not carp. Okay. The other method is more direct. It's simply addition. So if I didn't catch carp, then I must have caught bass and catfish. So if I didn't catch carp, then I caught bass, so I got 15 bass, plus I got 6 catfish. So that actually results in the same answer. So 21 of the fish that I caught were not carp. Whether I do that, figure that out by subtraction, or I figure that out by addition, it honestly doesn't matter because you get the same answer both ways.